Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're going to be playing Fogotron. Now, Megan O33 started this series where, I think the idea has always been consistently about cities, towns, countries that are all about being covered in fog, which is essentially what we're playing today. If you guessed it, yes, it is a fog puzzle. Something about this channel and its fans and supporters, you guys absolutely love a fog puzzle. Now, with the name Fogotron, I imagine first thing that comes to you guys is some kind of robot, maybe like a steampunk robot, something along those lines. But of course, since we're familiar with the series, we know that it's got to be some kind of town, clearly a futuristic one of some sort, which is what you see in there. Sleuth time traveling once again into what does that look like. Anyway, what else do we say about this particular puzzle? So 1-star difficulty rating, excellent for a weekday. Really looking forward to this. Let's just crack on and get started with Fogotron by Megan O33 and the following set of rules. First one, normal Sudoku rules apply. Place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, in every column, and then in every 3x3 box. Then the following rules. Digits along a magenta renban form a set of consecutive non-repeating digits in any order. So you can see clearly that this magenta line is doing something like that. I don't know if it's forking, so for all we know there's something like that invisible in the fog, but given these two are pointing in here, let's assume for a second that it is a 3-cell renban. If that is a 2, then I could do something like 1 and 3. That would be a consecutive set of digits without any repeats. Of course, I could also do 2, 3, and 4. I cannot do any of the following. I can't have a 3 and a 5. They're no longer a consecutive set. Can't have a 2 again. Although it may look consecutive, there is a repeat digit. So that's the renbans. Then we have adjacent digits along a green German whisper line must have a difference of at least 5. So if we continue with this example, if this is a 2, this has to be 5 or more away. It would have to be 7, 8, or 9. If you assume for a second it's an 8, this would have to be 5 or more away. It would be 1 or 3. I'm just not repeating the 2 in this particular box. We also have Kropke dots, so a black dot between cells indicates cell values with a 2-to-1 ratio. So essentially, well, I'm going to move the 2 temporarily. Not that it matters actually. If this 2 is over here, this would have to be 1 or 4 so that one cell is double the other. With white dots are consecutive, so that 8 with a white dot next to it would have to be 7 or 9. Then we have just X's, no XVs. So this 1 or 4 connected by this cell, connected to this cell with an X, have to add up to 10. So if it's 1, it would have to be 9. If it's 4, it would have to be 6. So that's all the rules that we have for today. Certainly no shortage of rules, but quite a few of them. I skipped the last and obvious one, fog. If this was a 2, then all of the surrounding cells that are covered in fog will be revealed and hopefully allows us to make a bit more progress than we currently have. Right, as always, you know what to do. If you want to play along, link will be in the description down below for you to do so. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock and see how I get on. So German whispers, as usual, they oscillate between high and low digits around the 5. So I don't know what these are. All I know is that they are purple. I know that I've got 4 purple, so the rest of them are basically going to be orange and a 5. Orange in the middle for sure, and this is going to have to be 1 or 9. Essentially, if I pick any other thing other than the extreme digits, I'm not going to be able to place 4 neighbors. In particular, the digits 4 and 6 can only ever be placed next to a 1 or 9 because they're the only digits that are 5 or more away. So if this is 1 or 9, this is 2 or 8, and again, of course, it's orange. Since I've placed all 4 purples, we know that this is orange. It can't be a 5 because, it needs to add up to 10 and it's on a black dot. Also means that we have 1 of each polarity, so it'll be interesting to think through that in a second. I say in a second, I'm not sure I can make much progress without actually thinking about this now. Right, so 2 scenarios on the table. Scenario 1 is orange is low, which would mean this will be 1 or 2. Well, it won't be 1 or 2, it'll be 1, it'll be 2, this will be 3 or 4. I'm actually tempted to try and do the scenario where it's high is probably a little bit more straightforward. 9, 8, This would have to be 6 or 7. It can't be a 7 on a black Kropki dot, because half of 7 is 3.5, double of 7 is 14, neither of which is allowed. So this would have to be a 6, this would have to be a 4, this would have to be a 3. These would have to be 1, 2. This would have to be a 5. This would be the 7, because essentially I've got 9, 8, 6, or 7. And this 1, 2 will be connected to another 1, 2. You can see it can't be a 3 in the same row, even though 2 could connect to 1 or 3 with this white dot. So this would be purple. I think it may actually be purple in either case. Right, next option. 1, 2 would put 3 or 4 in here. 3 and 4 both work. If it's 3, this would be 7. If it's 4, this would be 6. Actually, sorry, 1 second. I'm going to back up a step. I don't think 3 works, and I'll explain why. Essentially, if I put 3 in here, this would be 7. Now, where can I place 4 in all of these? Well, I've got 1, 2, 3. Can't have 4 inside a purple cell. 4 wouldn't connect to 7 with a white Kropki dot, so 4 would have to go in here. And then 7 can't be consecutive with the 5, because that's the only place left with a 5. So, yeah, this was a bit more straightforward. So this would actually have to be the 4. This would be a 6 again. This will always be a 5. The 4 would have to be connected to an 8. And then this would be a 3. It'll be essentially 1, 2, 4, 3, 5. And then the 6 and 8. Well, I'm missing 7 and 9. That couldn't be a 9 because that would need to be an 8, and I've just placed it in here. So that would have to be the 7. And this would have to be the 9. And this 7 can't be connected to an 8 here. It will be connected to a 6. Okay. Now, it looks less likely that it's high because I've got 6 and 9. But again, we don't know how big this renban is. It could be that there's a few more cells in here and it's forking. Which, in all of the scenarios, though, this is always a 5. And this is not a difficult renban. It has to be only 3 cells, so you can't connect 6 and 9. In fact, the only way you can connect this would be a 4, a 2, and a 3. So this is 3, this is 4, this is 6. Purple is low. This is now between the 1, 2 choices. This has to be a 2, this has to be a 1. Remember, orange is now high. This is 9, this is 8, and this is 7. 1 can only be connected to a 2, and there you go, we have our break-in. I'm actually going to lose these colors. I don't need them anymore. I may reuse them in a second in here. Let's think about this cell. It's not 9 or 8. If it's high, it would have to be 6 or 7. Can't have 6 in the middle. It would require double 1. Can't have 7 either, because this would be 1 or 2, and it's neither. So this has to be low. It's 1, 2, or 4. Can't be 4 because it would require double 9. So this is, I mean, technically I can get away with a 6 in here, 6 and a 1. So this is 6, 8, or 9, it's not 7. And this is 7, 8, or 9, it's not 6. This is a low digit that is 1, 3, and this is a low digit that is 1, 3, 2, and 4 are not available. And we essentially have a 1, 3 pair in row 6. We don't have a resolution. We have polarity, but no resolution for this German whisper line. So we're clearly going to have to kind of take our mind elsewhere and think about what these cells are saying. So a 4-cell renban, because we got the digit 2, essentially it's either 1, 2, 3, 4 or 2, 3, 4, 5. It's always got a 3. I was thinking this is a 3 for some reason, and therefore this would be a 3. No. I was thinking because this is 1, this would have to be 3, but just nonsense. Just let me think for a moment before I say more silly things. So I've already got the 2. I need to place 3 and 4 for sure on here. Technically, nothing's stopping me from having the 3 and 4 in there. So maybe not so interesting. This is 3, 4, or 5, I guess, from the options here. Can't be 1, can't be 2, can't be 5 on a black Kropki dot. 3 would have to be 6, not could be 6, would have to be 6. And 4 couldn't be 8 because it's already taken. This would have to be 2. Now, if it's 6, I can get away with both 5 and 7 in here. If it's 2, well, I can't get away with a 3. It would have to be a 1. So this is getting fairly difficult now. Because you see, the 1 would require 2, 3, and 4. The 2 and 3 would require a 4. The 4 would be next to, because I still need a 2, and the 2 is in here. This would be a 2, and this would be a 3. So that is actually possible in this scenario. So I can do 4, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. If that's 4, the 3 couldn't be here. The 3 would be down here. And this would be 1 or 5. Now, the second scenario that we obviously haven't thought about yet is if this is not 4, this is 3, this is 6. I still need 4 with 1 or 5. And seemingly, no restrictions on that. I'm not keen about where this is going. Let me just 3, 6, 5 or 7. And I mean, this renban has to have low digits. Because, you know, if you think about black Kropki dots for a second, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 8, you know, with a 7 on here, essentially the smallest set of digits that you can have on a black Kropki dot is 1, 2, and 4. All the rest are 3 and 6. 3 and 6 is achievable if this is 5 and this is 4. But I think I'm basically saying I can't get to 7. 7, let's just think about 7 on 4 cells. So obviously 6, 7, 8, 9 doesn't work because what are these 2 cells? Take off the 9, add the 5, still not helping myself. Take off the 5, add the 4. No, add the, sorry, leave the 5, take off the 8 and add the 4. I still haven't solved it. So 7 is off the table. So if this is 6, this is 5. Technically, I get away with 3 and 6 in this order, 3, 6, and 4. Yeah, I'm not helping myself, am I? So far, both options look valid. I'm actually wondering if both options always use a 3. And therefore, this would give me at least the 1, the 3, and I'll get some sense of direction of what's going on. Let me just double check again. 2 goes to 1, goes to 2, 4, and 3, and this would be 1. 6 would go to 5, and then because of this black Kropki dot, I would need it to be 3, 6, and 4, and that would be 1. That would be 3. These are not 3s. Remember, the 3 has to be on this renban. That is a 3, that is a 6, that is a 5, which forces the rest of this to be 3, 6, and 4. That is not 4 or 5, that is a 1, and therefore that is a 4 to be connected in this renban. Fantastic. I mean, you know, I think Megan's fog puzzles, one of the reasons I think they're so popular is they're always very logical next steps and they're fairly guided, but you just need to systematically work through quite a few options, actually. Do I know much about this? So, I mean, if this is low, it would have to be 2 because I can see 1, 3, and 4. And if this is low, 1, 3, and 4 again, this would be a double 2 in the same box. So this is the low digit. It's 1, 2, or 3. Can't be a 4. This is a high digit, and neither of them are 6, you can see. But it could be anything else. It could be 7, 8, or 9. Because the white Kropki dot can't be a 6 again. This would remain 7, 8, or 9. This would have to be a low digit that is not 1, 2, or 3. It is definitely a 4 with a 9. No 9 in here. Doesn't stop this from being a 9, of course. And this is 1, 2, or 3. Interesting. This cell here is either 2, 4 or 3, 6. We kind of went through a lengthy explanation about... No, hang on. It's not a renban. Ignore it. We need 2, 7, and 8. Interesting. I mean, that can't be a 2 anymore. Oh, yes, it can. It can do 2, 7, 8 triple. So no, it's absolutely fine. If this is low, this would be high. I mean, it has to be high because 1, 2, 3, and 4 are all looking at this cell. So this has to be low for this to be high. That could only be a 2. That's not a 2. That's not a 2. These 2 cells now are 7, 8, 9. That is clearly not an 8. And this is 6, 7, 8, 9 to be consecutive on the renban. I've got all high digits covered now. 5 is not here in the middle. 5 is never on a black crop dot. That's a 5. This is now 4 or 6. I mean, leading towards 4, given we've got so many of the high digits already placed, but doesn't have to be. 4 is not here. This is 1, 2, or 3. We'll work through that in a second. And if 4 has to be in here, but I can't place it. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Never mind. If this is 1, that's 2, that's 3. Possible. If that's 2, that can't be 4 because I've already placed it. It would have to be 1. And if it's 3, it can be 6. Okay. 4 has to be in one of these 2 cells. Again, there's 4 nowhere else in row 2. 6 can only be in here, as you can see. So that's 6, that's 7. That means that's 8, and that's 9. Excellent. That leaves 3 on the table in here. In fact, 3 is highly likely there. It's one of these 2 cells because that's not a 3. So this is actually 1, 2, 4. The 1 and 2, that's just 4. This is 1 or 2. 7 in here also gave me an 8, which gives me a 7 there. 6 gave me a 4 there. And this is 3 and 9. Lovely. Still don't know this 1, 2. So what are the remaining cells? I have another 1, 2, which isn't here, and a 7, which isn't here again. That's 8. And the 7 and the 1, 2, unfortunately, I can't place them at this point. It does give me a 1, 2, 7 triple in column 5. So this cell I could just place, and it has to be a 4. With the 3 in here, this can't be a 6. It isn't an 8, so that's just known. That's a 9. That is not a 9. Oh, 1, 2 pair. That's the 7. That's not a 7. These 2 cells are also known. I'm going to say they're 5 and 6. And then in here, I need 7, 8, as in a second 7, 8, and a second 1, 2. I'm not going to pencil mark that. Right. Where do I go next? 5 can only be here in row 4. It can't be there. This is another 7 or 9. Also, no, oh, hang on. It is determined. That 7 gave me the 9 and the 7. I need a 1, which has to go in here. I need a 2, which has to go in there. I need a 5. So this is a 1, 5 pair. And the 5 here gave me direction. 5 and 1. And this is 2 and 8. And I don't have anything to resolve these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 and 8 have to be there. That 8 gave me an 8 and a 6. 7 and 9 are also resolved with 9 and 7. Still don't have these. Oh, no, I still don't have these. Interesting. renban, clearly what's going to help us move forward. Sorry, just taking a moment to take things in. So I guess 5, 7, 8. 1, 4, 6. Not a 4. And 2, 3, 9. Now, these 2 cells, I mean, I don't know what the renban is doing, but it kind of feels like it's going to be going horizontally. I mean, the 1, I'm pretty sure can't be connected to all of these. Yeah, even if this is a 5 and everything in here is a renban, if that's a 1, where is the 4 to connect it to the 5? It would only be up here, so that's not a 1. Don't have much more than that right now. The 1, 2, 7, 8, not brilliant. So let's think about this consecutive set for a second. I cannot have a 1 on here because I need 2 and 3, which is not available. So that has to be the 1. That has to be the 2. No 2s, 6, 4. Pretty sure that can't be a 9. That's 3. That's 5. No 5s and a 9. 5 gave me 6 and 5. 7 and 8 not resolved. And this is 4, 5, 6. And I can see the 4 and 6 in here. So that's the 5. This is the 6 because of that 4, and that's the 4. We have a high digit at least. In fact, we've got 2 high digits and a low digit, which is 1 or 2 because we've got 3 of them in here. And this would have to be 7, 8, or 9. Yeah, 7 or 9. And this would have to be, can only be 8 because 7 and 9 are already placed. Then I have another 7, 9, another 1, 2, and a 3 somewhere. This is not the 3. It's not the 1. But it can be 7, 9, or 2. Not brilliant. Not 9. 7 or 2. In fact, 9. Just 9. And therefore 7, 8, 7. And this is 1 or 2 again. Just completing the column and the box. That means this is 2 or 7. It's not a 7. That's 2. That's 1. That's 2. That's 1. That's 2. That's 7. That's 2, that's 8. I mean, that 8 was there ages ago. And this is 1, 3 pair, not resolved. That 8 is resolved. That's 2, that's 8. That 2 is not here. It was neither there or here. So this is 1, 3. That isn't a 2. And that can't be a double 1. So that's 3, that's 6, that's 1. That is 3, that's 1. And if I've not made any mistakes, that's a 5 for the finish. Incredible puzzles once again, Megan 033. Thank you so much for creating them. Really enjoyable as usual. Hope that you guys enjoyed the puzzle and the video, and I'll see you back for the next one. Bye-bye for now.